What is going on, you guys? It's your girl Diana, back at you with another YouTube video. Yesterday they announced the 7-star EEVEE Terra raids, so today I'll be going over a couple of counters for you to possibly take into these raids so that you can get your mightiest mark EEVEE. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So per usual, before we actually hop into the counters, let's take a look at what exactly we're going to be going up against once we do hop into these raids. So EEVEE is of course going to be level 100 since this is still a 7-star Terra raid. EEVEE is also normally a normal type Pokemon, and its Terra type for this raid will also be normal. However, considering that EEVEE is a first evolution, it is most likely going to have an item like when we had our 7-star Pikachu raids, and it will most likely be holding Eviolite, which means that it will have a 1.5 boost in defense and special defense. Obviously it needs a little bit of help, it's just a little guy. Ability wise, it will probably still have its hidden ability, which is anticipation, which means that on switch in, this Pokemon shudders if its foe has any super effective or one-hit KO move. And when it comes to its EV spread, obviously there is not going to be anything too crazy here. It is a first evolution, so it is going to have an HP stat of 55, an attack stat of 55, a defense stat of 50, a special attack stat of 45, so it does lean a little bit more on the physical side, a special defense of 65, and a speed of 55. So it does look like it is going to be a little bit weaker on the physical defense side, so you might want to lean towards that when you do bring your Pokemon into the raids as well. And since EEVEE is a first evolution, it doesn't have the most diverse moveset, but I can definitely see them putting something like Body Slam on there because it is going to be a normal type move, it is going to be Stab, and it is a physical move, and since it does lean towards the physical side, that would probably be a good choice. It also does have a 30% chance to paralyze the target, which would make you slower, of course, and of course there's the chance of full paralysis, which is always annoying. I can also see them putting Dig or even a Shadow Ball just so that they have some coverage across the field, and Dig is also kind of annoying because you won't be able to hit EEVEE for one whole turn. It'll dig under the ground, hit somebody, and then come back, so it will make it just a little bit more annoying to take down. And in terms of Shadow Ball, it does also have a chance to drop your special defense by 1. So like a lot of these moves that EEVEE does have a secondary effect that would make it a little bit harder to take EEVEE down. And sticking with that same theme, it does also get access to Mud Slap, which does have a 100% chance of lowering your accuracy by 1. So maybe they'll just make you keep missing. And as for setup moves, EEVEE does get access to things like Calm Mind so that it can raise its special attack and its special defense by 1. It does also get access to Rest, which we saw that Mewtwo did recover HP when we were in those raids, so I wouldn't put it past them to put something that does help EEVEE recover HP as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do have something for EEVEE to recover HP as well, considering that it is a first stage evolution and they gotta make the raid a little bit more difficult. It also gets access to Sleep Talk, Yawn so that it can make you fall asleep, and even moves like Charm and Baby Doll Eyes to lower your attack. And of course there is always the possibility that they do throw something like Hyper Voice on it, since it does hit multiple targets at once, and if they give it something like Calm Mind so that it can boost its special attack, the Hyper Voices would be a stab move, so that would hurt. But now that we have a bit of an idea of what we might be going up against once we do get into these raids, let's go ahead and hop into the counters. So per usual, I do have 2 different attackers for you to choose from and 2 different support Pokemon in case you want to bring either or. Both of the attackers are going to be physical attackers, since that is going to be EEVEE's weaker defense stat. And the good news is that if you have been watching my counter videos for quite some time now, you probably already have every single one of these Pokemon built out already, since they are all from previous raids. I literally plucked these right out of my box, and I think I changed 1 move on like Tinkaton. But starting off with our attackers, first up we have good old reliable Iron Hands, which is of course a fighting and electric type, and for the purposes of this raid, you are going to want to have a fighting Terra, because that's going to hurt EEVEE since it's a normal type. For its held item, I do have it holding a Covert Cloak, and that's just to account for all of the moves that do have secondary effects that we did just go over. EEVEE spread is going to be super simple. It's just going to be full attack and full HP. You are going to want an attack boosting nature, and its ability is going to be Quark Drive, which works great if you do bring a Terrain Setter as a support Pokemon, so you can activate that Quark Drive and get even more of a boost for your attack stats, since it does boost its most proficient stat. Moveset wise, it's also going to be super simple and super straightforward. We have 2 attacking moves of choice here. Both are going to be fighting types, so we have Close Combat and Drain Punch. Drain Punch also has the secondary effect of also giving you HP recovery. I would probably use close combat sparingly since it does drop your stats. And then of course we also have belly drum and sword dance, which are just two different options that you have in order to help yourself set up. Our next attacker of choice is going to be Annihilate, which is of course a fighting and ghost type. For this raid, you are going to want the fighting tera type. The item for Annihilate is going to be a covert cloak as well, just because you don't want to deal with all of the secondary effects. And EEVEE spread is going to be the exact same as Iron Hands. It is going to be full attack, full HP with an attacking nature, and it does have the ability Defiant. Moveset wise, sorry that my moves are all over the place. I don't really organize my moves, okay? But we do have Close Combat, Screech, Drain Punch, and Bulk Up. Bulk Up is of course going to be there to help you set up. Drain Punch is there to hit for super effective and of course give you HP recovery. Close Combat, once again, I would use sparingly since it does drop your own stats, and Screech is going to lower EEVEE's defense. But moving on to our support Pokemon, the first support Pokemon is going to be Tinkaton, which is a fairy and steel type. And once again, for your support Pokemon, just pay no attention to the Tera types because it doesn't really matter since you're not going to terastallize them if you are going in a group. Usually you want to just let the attackers terastallize. Held item is going to be the same, it's going to be a covert cloak, and EEVEE spread is going to be full HP and full defense with a defensive nature. And moveset wise, we have Rock Smash, Light Screen, Helping Hand, and Reflect. Light Screen and Reflect are going to, of course, help protect you and the rest of the team. Helping Hand is there to, of course, help your attacker setup, and then Rock Smash actually goes through the shield. So if it does put its shield up turn 1, like in the Pikachu raids, that'll be very helpful. And it does also have the chance of lowering EEVEE's defense. And lastly, for our second support Pokemon, we have Bellybolt, which is, of course, going to be a pure electric type. Item-wise, it is also holding the Covert Cloak, and EEVEE spread is going to be the exact same as Tinkaton, so it is going to be full defense, full HP, and have a defense nature. And its ability Static might actually come in handy for this raid just because it does have the chance to paralyze EEVEE. And moveset wise, it does have Mud Slap, Electric Terrain, Slack Off, and Chilling Water. Mud Slap is going to not only do damage, but it also lowers EEVEE's accuracy. Electric Terrain is there to help set up in case you do bring something like Iron Hands that requires a terrain to set up Cork Drive. Slack Off is there for HP recovery, and Chilling Water, once again, not only does damage, but it is also going to lower EEVEE's attack stat. But there you have it. That is a couple of different Pokemon that you can use to take into these 7-star EEVEE raids if you do have a group. Per usual, once we do actually hop into the raids and I get a chance to actually see what is going down in the raids, I will come out with a solo video in case you don't have a group to go into the raids with. But if you do have any of these guys just chilling in your box, you should be able to get your Mightiest Mark EEVEE. But per usual, if you have any other suggestions, leave them down below in the comments because I'm sure there is a ton of other options as well. But that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, I kindly suggest that you consider subscribing so that I can continue to make content for you guys. And if you are already subscribed and you would like another way to support the channel, feel free to check out the merch store. There is a link down below in the description that takes you to not only my merch store, but also all of my other socials so you can keep up with what I'm doing on a daily basis. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to those that did help with the raid builds as well as those that did join the channel as members. I appreciate you all so much. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.